Are we on? Are we on? Welcome, welcome, welcome to Basketball Heads Live. I am your host, Glenn Poole Harding. And oh boy, we have a very, very special guest. This basketball head is a Long Island City High School legend and Syracuse University great who scored 950 points for his career. He handed out 410 assists and grabbed 236 rebounds as an Orangeman. This basketball head was a 3-year starter, floor general, a steady player that rarely turned the ball over, with good ball handling skills, and a reliable shot when legendary head coach Gene Boeheim needed one. This basketball head became a starting point guard his sophomore and junior seasons, though he often found himself more in the shooting guard role while Leo Rautins handled the ball frequently. Waldren moved to the shooting guard position his senior year to allow New York City legend Dwayne Pearl Washington to play the point. He would have a huge shining moment on December 4th, 1983 against Iona. This basketball head found himself extremely hot, hitting 13 of 17 shots and would score 40 points in a 109-92 victory over Iona in the Carrier Classic Championship, earning the tournament MVP. At the time he graduated, this basketball head was second all-time in assists at Syracuse with 410. He now stands at number 14 because of all the great point guards who followed him. Remember, he was one of the guys who set the foundation for the Orangemen. This basketball head will play some professional ball in England following his graduation. And in 2005, he became part of the Syracuse Radio Basketball Network as the color analyst. He left that position in 2008, and now we can catch up with him and see what he's doing since he left Syracuse. So, without further ado, help me welcome to the show Long Island City legend and Syracuse University great, my guy, Gene Waldron.
Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Yes. You have just stepped out into the world of chaos, where everybody goes hard. Come on. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Or go home. Never back down. You gotta hold your own. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. East Coast. Go hard. West Coast. Go hard. Midwest. Go hard. Dirty. Hurry up, everybody. Get online, buy your tickets, cause the game about to start.
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening, my brother?
Everything's good. Everything's good. It's cold up here in Syracuse, though. That's for sure.
Woo! I know you are getting it good up there, brother.
All
Man,
time. It gets real cold up here.
no doubt, no doubt. What's up? What's up? D Combs is in the building. Coach Biggs, what's happening? David Combs said, "What's up?" to my man Gene.
Yeah, Dave. Me and Dave go back. Dave gave me a chance with Dave's the man.
No doubt, no doubt. Always on the check-in, man. He said, finally. Listen, I always tell people, I know people be thinking we be making this up when I say this. 99% of people who come on this show, we've been working on for a couple of years to make this happen.
Right.
So no better, time than now to get you on. Peace to my brother Paul Scurry is in the building. Ooh, you know it's gonna be epic. You know it's gonna be epic. Salute to the whole Scurry family. Listen, Paul, I need to bring you up here so we can talk about your legendary family, because there's a lot of legendary basketball families from New York that we need to give some love to. For sure, for sure. He said, always cold.
That's for sure.
He said, Pooh for president. Yes, let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. Basketball, New York City president. You know, just call me the ambassador, man. You know. Yo, Combs, Paul Scurry said, what's up? So, definitely hit those likes and chats and make sure you subscribe. It's your first time here. Make sure you subscribe. So, listen,
my man,
brother.
Derek Hawkins. Oh, those Jackson days.
Yo, D-Hawk, I didn't forget to get back at you, man. We're going to make sure we get you up here, brother, for sure. Got to represent that Queens vibe. You know, we're doing it big with another Queens legend up here. So I'm going to get this rolling, man. Who introduced you to the game?
You know, funny enough, man, my dad. You know, it was my dad, you know, growing up in Queensbridge housing projects, you know, a lot of drama, a lot of things going on that don't need to be going on. And, you know, it was just one thing. He says, what do you want to do? I says, you know, I think I want to try to play basketball. And this is in November and it's cold. And it was snowing, actually. And he just went out and shoved the basketball court and brought me a basketball. And, you know, the rest really is history. I just started, you know, practicing on my own, you know. And in Queensbridge, everybody could play basketball, you know, and that's just something that I wanted to do, you know, and then kept me out of trouble.
Yeah, man. Listen, you have left a mark on New York City basketball, definitely as one of the greats. When you hear guys talking about some of the great guards, your name definitely comes up, man. So we definitely want to give you your flowers tonight.
I appreciate that.
For sure. So let the world know what part of New York City you're from, and give us a little bit about your childhood outside of basketball.
Well, I grew up in Queens, Long Island City, grew up in Queensbridge Housing Project, which I mean, I don't know if a lot of people know is one of the largest projects in America.
Hold on.
96. Yeah.
We know about Queensbridge. y'all produce some of the greatest stars in hip-hop and basketball.
Right. Yeah. So, you know, growing up as a kid, you know, I had, you know, my three sisters, my mom. You know, growing up in Queensbridge wasn't always easy, you know. Mom did the best that she could, you know. Initially, I was in Catholic school, you know. The Catholic schools back in the day, they weren't no joke. And then there was plenty times where, you know, I had to do detention, and you have your bus pass, and you can only use it up to a certain time. And they used to keep me till after the time was expired. I used to have to walk home, but I used to be heated. But, you know, there was things that I went through that helped me later in life, you know, because when I was young, you know, I was a little hard-headed, but, you know, those experiences mold you for later on in life. You know, the people in my community, you know, a lot of them, all they tried to do was just help. You know, it wasn't always easy. You know, food wasn't always on the table. You know, going to school wasn't always easy. But you get through it. You know, you have your community. And that was one thing I could say about Queensbridge. I mean, we were a big community, you know, and I originally started playing my basketball on a block called Vernon. It was the 41 side of Vernon. And those guys.
Hold on. I'm teeing you up tonight. Let me tell you something. We know about Queensbridge and the 41st side through Nas. Nas told the whole story. So when you saying these things, I am so on point. Man, please explain how the 41st side of Vernon was like for you as a kid, even before Nas was around.
Well, it was, you know, our block was kind of different from all the other blocks, because you got to remember, 96 buildings, 4 to 6 blocks, maybe more than that. But our block was kind of different. You know, we invented all kinds of stuff. We used to play stickball. We used to play roller derby. and we made up games. We used to play roller derby without skates because we couldn't afford skates. We'd be walking around the shoehorn and playing roller derby. I mean, we used to play. I mean, the things that we used to do on Vernon was a lot, and everybody always stuck together. You know, it was a huge thing for us to stick together. But some of the games that we used to race around the block, and it was funny. We used to play a game called I forget what it's called, but you just have to grab the person and count to 3. And sometimes what I used to do is because like I used to like to watch Batman, and everybody used to say, Gene, that's corny. You can't watch Batman and Robin. So while I was on the run, I used to go upstairs, eat my dinner, watch Batman and Robin. They'd be looking for me. I'd be upstairs eating. And then I come out, tag the bench, and free everybody. They'd be like, where you come from? I was hiding. I was upstairs eating. Because every day at 5 o'clock, Mom had to make sure you had to be upstairs to eat your dinner at 5. But Vernon is where it started for me playing basketball because I used to play with the older guys, you know, and my job was to pass the ball. They wouldn't let me shoot. They said, you got to pass the ball. But
you had to earn that right? You had to earn that right.
I had to, yeah, definitely. There's no question. But you know what? There was it helped me later on, you know, playing with those older guys for sure.
I think the game you talked about now, depending what neighborhood you come from, some neighborhoods called it manhunt, and other neighborhoods where I'm from in Brooklyn called it Cocolivio. Right?
That's
so
just what it was. Cocolivio.
Right?
You nailed it.
Cocolivio. 1, 2, 3.
Oh my God.
1, 2, 3. Right?
That's what it was. That's what it was. And when we played it on Vernon, it was vicious. I mean, when you got grabbed, I mean, they throw you to the floor. But it was so funny. They to this day, but I probably done blew my cover. They never knew I used to go upstairs to eat dinner, and they'd be looking for me. I'd be upstairs. They never knew.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
All right, we definitely gonna get there because you know we're gonna tap into all those great players who went the other way. So now you said you started out Catholic school. That was early on. Was that like elementary, junior high school?
Elementary. I finished there in the 4th grade. It got a little bit too expensive for me and my 2 sisters. My youngest one wasn't born yet, and so then I had to go to public school. PS 111 is the school that I went to, and you know, and I had 2 teachers there, Mr. and Mrs. Ratner. I mean, these teachers took me under their wing because you know I had some struggles as a kid, you know, paying attention, behavioral, you know, and these 2 teachers took me under their wing, man, and I mean, anytime that you know they could see in my face that you know what's wrong, Gene, what's wrong today. You know, so those were 2 people that I could go and sit down and somewhat talk to them a little bit, but they always were there to help me, always. And to this day, God bless Mr. Ratner, who passed away a couple of years ago, but his wife I still stay in touch with. They was always there for me, you know, helped me with my schoolwork, and even, you know, didn't treat me any different, but was always there for me, you know, and to this day, man, I got nothing but love for them.
Man, that's awesome. Salute to all the educators out there.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. I've been one for a long time, so definitely, you know, and got another educator here. What you're going to see my artist. He's back in the building. My guy, Jamel Powell, is in the building drawing you a nice piece, man. So we want to make sure we get that to you. It's kind of big, so I think I have to ship it out or something. We'll get to that. So how was your transition going into Long Island City, right? What was the transition like for you there? You know, coming from Catholic school, going into public school.
So it wasn't too much of a transition other than, you know, I just had to behave. You know, my problem was that I just couldn't, you know, sit still, you know, do my homework. I just needed some guidance, you know, because, you know, not for nothing, you know, everything wasn't always good in the household. You know, I ain't ashamed to admit, and I'm not ashamed to admit that it wasn't always good in the household. There's always something going on. But then I went to junior high school, and 204, junior high school 204. played basketball, was playing, getting better there. And after the 8th grade, Long Island City were looking at me, and I wound up transferring from junior high school to Long Island City High School and playing playing on the varsity team as a freshman. I was the only freshman to ever play high school basketball as a freshman at Long Island City. I mean, I sat the bench, but I was on the team. I played with Willie Sims, Skip Jackson. I mean, but it was a huge transition going from junior high school, then going to a high school, you know, playing in the 9th grade and actually playing on the varsity team.
What was the high school basketball scene like during those days?
Oh my God!
Like, give everybody a breakdown, because you know a lot of other states out there love to poke fun at New York City and saying, you know, we're down and all that, but not realizing we're still a mecca for New York, for the basketball all over the world.
Well, you know what? You had good coaches back in my day, and you still do. But back in my day, the coaches were no nonsense. You had to go to class. You had to make sure you practice hard. And if you didn't practice hard, or if you didn't go to class, you wasn't going to play. It was as simple as that. There were no gimmies. You had to earn everything that you wanted. And I think that was the thing that also helped me too, that people didn't just give you everything. And, you know, once I started to realize, because when my 9th year in high school at Long Island City, college coaches was coming to watch Willie Sims, Skip Jackson, and some of the other players there. And they were giving me knowledge that, look, if you continue on the path that these guys have already planted for you, you can play college basketball too. Wow. So that was a huge thing. But it was always about getting better. Back in the day, if you want to play, you got to get better. And in those days, it was like you didn't really have what they have today. That, you know, you could go find a trainer, or you could do it AAU. You had to go sometime and you had to do it when you had to practice when nobody was looking. If you wanted to get better, you had to do it when nobody was looking, because you ain't had nobody who was going to help you. Not like how you have it there. This training. I mean, so I'm a personal trainer now. I didn't have that when I was coming up, you know. So respect to the people that are doing it now.
Yeah, we had the fortunate play with the guys in the neighborhood, right? The older guys kind of showed us.
That's what it was. Right? You play with the older guys that help you get better.
There you go. So, you know, we just grew up in a different time. Who was the best player in your neighborhood when you was coming up?
In my time, you know, there was a lot of players. But, you know, for me as a guard, the only person that I would say, and I'm not, you know, bragging, the only person that I would say that was better than me as a guard at my era was Vern Fleming. Me and Vern Fleming used to have, Vern. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, we had some. Yeah, we had some battles, but Vern was, you know, he was exceptional. I mean, he was. I mean, you had Phil Smith, and you know, you go even before me, Ray Martin played at Notre Dame. He set the standard. Andy Walker played for the Utah Jazz. Roy Beekman. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. When you talk about players that come out of Queensbridge, and we could have like 4 or 5 teams that could be unbeatable. Easy.
Did you guys come to Brooklyn and play?
Okay, so let me tell you a couple of stories.
Please do.
We used to go to Brooklyn, USA. We never won because they used to always cheat. They used to always cheat. I mean, they had Cosell, Nigel, Richie Gordon. We never even came close to winning. But we used to love to go there and battle. There was always love after the game, though. We knew we wasn't going to never win. But we used to jump on that train. We used to get there, and we still have to. We walk and we played the game. We never, ever won. To this day, everybody who played with me when we used to go to Brooklyn, everybody if you ever asked anybody, they said, Gene, they used to cheat us all the time. They did, but we used to play. We used to love going there. The battles were good. Me and Cosell used to have some serious battles. Cosell, I used to go up against Nigel. Real serious battles.
All roads still go through Brooklyn.
Yes,
Salute.
they do. I mean, but hold on now. You come to Queensbridge, it ain't no
Oh
cakewalk.
no, definitely we definitely know that. And I was just talking about far as the high school basketball scene. For the last 15 or so years, only 2 schools have won city championships outside of Brooklyn, and
Yeah,
it's a lot. But Catholic school, when you talk about this Catholic league, it's a lot different. And the Catholic schools are very competitive still to this day. So is the public schools. But salute to all the schools in New York City. Listen, what have you spoken to Vern and Vic?
once they went to college, never heard of them again. I played overseas. I've seen Vic one time because he came to play in the city that I was playing. We spoke for like 3 minutes, but never. Those guys never came back to the community, which was sad, because they had a lot of respect, just like anybody who had a lot of respect that went on to play college Division I college basketball. They never came back to the community, but that was. I ain't mad at them, but there's a lot of people in Queensbridge that say, well, why they never came back for anything.
Yeah, and my thing is too, right? Because when we talk about the great point guards that come out of New York City, he's left out of the conversation, right?
Right.
He had a great NBA career. Like, he wasn't an all-star, but he played a long time in the NBA. He won
Olympic gold medal.
Won the gold medal. He's one of the only players in the NBA that never got a technical foul. So he always played with class. He always played hard.
Yes.
And he made us look good.
Yes.
And it's a shame that we can't give him his flowers.
Vern was an exceptional player. Vic, his twin brother, we played high school together. Vic Fleming,
Vic didn't play at Monte Christi?
No, Vic played high school with me.
Wow.
We played at LIC together. Me and Vic. Yeah, me and Vic went and visit Georgia, University of Georgia at the same time. I was going to go to Georgia, then I changed my mind, and Vern went there and blossomed.
Wow.
Yes.
And what school did Vic wind up going to?
Vic went to Xavier University.
Wow. So they both went big time. That's
yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
How was Monte Christi and how was the battle? Did y'all play against each other?
Come on, man. Why you bring that up? Yeah, man. They had Dwayne Johnson, Tony Red Bruin. They had Phil Smith, and they had Vern.
Man,
my high school was Tim Banks, Vic, me, and that was about it. They blew us out by like 25.
Wow. Just like the Catholic school, stacking the teams, make sure they had all the best players.
We couldn't stop Red. Red was they were throwing alley-oops. Red was just dunking on us, looking at us, laughing. And like before the game, like days before the game, we wouldn't talk to each other because we was like, y'all not beating us. They was like, Gene. They were saying to us, Gene, come on, y'all ain't got a chance. I knew we didn't, but I wasn't gonna let them know. And so as we were leading up to the games, there was days we would see each other, we wouldn't even speak. That's how serious it was. And we got on that court, they blew us out, man. It was kind of embarrassing.
Who was your rivals at Long Island City?
Jackson.
Let's talk about it. We
used to meet them in the playoffs a lot. We used to meet them in the playoffs quite often. And Bound High School, they had Kenny Patterson. Didn't Kenny Patterson go to Forest Hills? Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Forest Hills. We used to have battles with Forest Hills.
Yes.
But once we got into the playoffs, because we used to beat everybody, then we get to the playoffs, we ran into Jackson a couple of times. I mean, for the most part, they got us more times than we got them. Yeah. Monte Christi was no joke. Derek was like, yeah, there's no joke.
So when you was playing against Derek at Jackson?
Yep. Derek, yep. Yeah, we used to have all the battles, George, all those guys. The battles were really, really tough. I mean, there wasn't a seat to be had when we played, when we was playing them, though. Wasn't a seat to be had. Springfield Gardens, yeah, we used to have battles with them, too.
Wow, listen.
Richard Brunson, Springfield.
Yeah. I had Richard Brunson on the show. I had Dwayne Johnson on the show. Man, this
Well,
is
me and DJ lived when I moved from 41 side of Vernon. I moved to 10th Street. Me and DJ lived on the same block.
wow. Well, what league dominated more back then, the public school or the Catholic school league?
That's a tough question. Catholic school was said, I would, I know public school was really tough, especially in my era. I mean, you think about Richie Adams, Springer, Richie Gordon, Cosell. You think about all the schools from Queens. You got Jackson, LIC, Stevenson, Fred Brown, Ed Pigney.
Boys high, right?
Girl. Yeah. I mean, it was tough, but it's funny though, but we used to be just about all of them. The only person we barely lost to, we lost in the city championship to a la Stevenson. That was a bad loss. We just couldn't do anything right, and they blew us out. And it was on TV. They blew us out.
What was Ed Pickney on that team?
Yeah, Ed Pickney, Fred Brown. Because
Fred Brown that went to North Carolina, correct?
Fred Brown went to Georgetown.
No, Georgetown. Hold on. Downtown Freddie Brown?
Yeah, played at Georgetown.
Wow.
In the game, in the semifinals, we were playing against Franklin. They had Gary Springer and Richie Adams, and they were talking all this trash. We're going to do this. We bumped them right out there. And then because we beat them with that team that they had, we figured, oh, well, we could definitely handle Stevenson. And it was on TV. They blew us. We lost by 40. So here, check it out. Yeah. So after the game, we snuck back in the projects because we didn't want to let nobody see us. We would hide behind cars and trees, and we all snuck upstairs. And we didn't it was really embarrassing. Yeah, they got us. Yeah, Jimmy Black.
Yeah, J.E., you're right. He did go to, I got them confused. Jimmy Black did go to North Carolina. Jimmy Black from the Bronx. Yep.
Yeah, he was like, Gene, you need to come to North Carolina. I was like,
Man. Who was the best player in the city during your era?
Wow.
Like, who was the best high school player when
you were
senior?
There was a lot of us. I couldn't say who. I know I was all city. Fred Brown was all city. Gary Springer was all city. And I forget, Roosevelt Chapman was all city.
What year was that? Did you graduate?
That was 79.
79. Got you.
Yeah, so, but there was a lot of great guards that in my era in New York City. There was a lot of great guards. Roosevelt Chapman wasn't no joke either.
Oh, Roosevelt Chapman, man, he was a beast. He was a beast. So in 78, 79, you had, you said 79, 80.
Right.
Said. Got you. So I'm gonna go because I'm gonna run off a list of names real quick. Why they don't have, for some reason they don't have 80. They got 79, they got 81, not 82. Hold on, yes they do. Let me go back. Hold on, here we go. Said 79, so it's 80 right here. Nope. For some reason. Listen, they got Richie Gordon, Sidney Green.
Richie Gordon had battles. Richie Gordon wasn't no joke. He was tough. Very, very tough.
Wow. It's a lot of names, man. A lot of names.
It was so many great guards that came out of New York City especially in my era when I was in my senior year. I earned everything that I got. I had to prove that I was one of the best guards in New York City. And I, not patting myself on the back, but I proved that.
No, we here to pat you on the back for you. Pause. Definitely. You was definitely one of those ones. You don't get to go to Syracuse University at the time that you went at the Syracuse and not be one of them ones. Derek Hawkins said, what happened to Eric Harris?
Eddie Harris, after he finished high school, I think he played at North Texas, and And at that time, I went to Syracuse, and I haven't heard from him in so many years. Because once I finished at Syracuse, I went straight overseas. So I was overseas for so many years that I lost touch with a lot of people.
And that's what happens, man. When guys leave and go their different ways, sometimes we lose contact. And
but never lost contact with the our Queensbridge boys. We always together. We always get together. We never lost touch.
No, I seen the documentary you guys got on YouTube.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Definitely. Very, very, very good piece of work right there. It says that's when the city was a hit bad. Dudes was honorable mention, was going to big time schools. Man, cause with so many ball players, man. With so many ball players at the time. So Eugene made all city as a junior when they usually selected seniors. Facts. What's the house?
And it wasn't easy. Let me tell you something. I used to get out there on a Saturday and Sunday, 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning. I'd be out there. My rims didn't have no net, so when the ball went in, I had to go chase it.
Yo, hold up. Yo, that's so true. Kids be complaining. Like that was the rims sometimes would be bent as well.
You still got to do what you got to do.
Facts.
That's for sure.
I guess your son is on. He said, "Great interview, Pops." Said Gene,
yeah. My son, and he in Chicago.
Okay.
He doing this thing.
Salute. Yo, Kenny Hutchinson was a bad boy too. Y'all, I got Kenny Hutchinson on here. Y'all scroll down. I got the Kenny Hutchinson interview. His first interview with anybody in over like 40 years.
Kenny Hutchinson was tough. Very tough.
Yes.
I forget what school he went. Did he go to Oklahoma?
He went to Arkansas.
Arkansas, right. Arkansas.
Yes.
He was tough. He was tough.
Now, I was told to ask about Stephen A. Smith. Now, there's been some controversy with Stephen A. Smith fabricating in his book that he played for Big House Gaines and made the team and average 1.5 points a game in one game, which is almost impossible to do. Right? How good was Stephen A. Smith? And do you know what high school he went to?
I have no idea. I
know somebody on here knows.
You know what? I didn't even know Stephen A. Smith was from New York City.
Wow.
I had no idea.
Hold on. We're talking about legendary status. Somebody from Queens, and they didn't even know Stephen A. Smith was from New York?
Didn't know.
Woo!
Yeah.
That is crazy.
I had no idea. Until, I heard him tell some of his story. I was like, wow, he was from Queens. I didn't know that.
Yeah. They said he was born
I didn't know that at all.
So why he got this connection from the Bronx? I mean, from Queens, because they say he went to school in the Bronx. Hold on, let me figure out. High school, Thomas Edison. Say he went to Thomas Edison.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yes, Edison High School. He was too young. Okay, got you. Was he good? Did anybody ever see him play?
Yeah. Listen, if he did, nobody heard of him.
Say it again.
Nobody heard of him.
Wow.
He's doing this thing now.
Oh, no. Definitely respect. And, he represents New York City to the fullest. So we don't want to on his parade. But, hey, when we're talking to real ball players, somebody got to at least know you. I know he went to school with a few of my guys that went to school with him. So, who knows? At Winston-Salem, with a couple of my guys, my guy Spank and my guy Phil, they all play with him down there. So maybe I need to bring one of them or both of them on the show so we can clear the air.
Yeah, right?
Yes. So what was your recruiting process like? And why did you choose Syracuse? And
Well,
also, who were the other schools that was involved in your recruiting process?
Well, I was actually being recruited by just about every school in America, and when I broke it down to how many guards they had, and what year they were in. So my 6 schools were USC. I'll put USC last. It was Canisius, Georgia, Marquette, DePaul, Syracuse, and USC. Now, when I went to USC as on a visit, all those guys are from the West Coast, and here's an East Coast guy coming in. So I'm coming in. They knew I was tough. They all knew I was tough. These guys take me out on a visit to a party and leave me. They just left me there by myself. So I'm looking around, not knowing where I'm at. I'm in California. So the coach comes the next morning to pick me up. I'd already called my mom's. And said, "Ma, this is what happened." She got on the phone with that coach. They put my son on the next plane back home. I came back home. I went to the University of Georgia, and me and Vic visited the University of Georgia at the same time. We get off the plane, and they got these wheels for us. I ain't have no driving license. I didn't even know how to drive. I'm all over the road. I'm just doing my best. And Eric Marbury, his brother played at the University of Georgia. And he was
No, Eric played at University of Georgia.
Yeah, Eric played at Eric played at there.
Yes.
And he was like, I mean, when I visit there, he was giving me the look like, yo, you better not even try to come here. So he scared me into not going.
Rest in peace to the late, great Eric Marbury.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So Dominic and them, they were all good to me. But in the end, the Carrier Dome was being built. Big East was big. You had a lot of players from the New York City, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C. area that were going to these different schools: Villanova, Seton Hall, Georgetown, St. John's, and in the Big East was blowing up. So I decided that and Eddie Moss was only a senior, and when I went up there for a visit, he says, "Look, you come in my senior year, I'll teach you everything you need to know, and then you take over the position." My freshman year, he taught me everything I needed to know. And then after my freshman year, I started for 3 years. So rest in peace, Eddie Moss. That dude taught me everything I needed to know. And he's like, and it's funny because he used to give it to me in practice. And then after practice, he used to tell me why and how I need to get better so nobody can come and take my spot. And it worked out pretty well.
Man, you love to come into a situation like that where, you got an upperclassman that's willing to take you under his wing and let you know for the jump. He's going to teach you everything because most guys are selfish. They don't want to teach you anything and, have you going out there learning on the job, which is not easy to do when you transition from high school to college. And how could you turn down playing in front of 30,000 people in the Carrier Dome?
Well, and Eddie Moss was from Woodside, and he knew my dad, and I knew of Eddie, and it was just a beautiful thing to have him help me as a freshman to prepare me to take over his spot. I mean, because it wasn't easy, because Eddie was no joke when he played at Syracuse.
Wow.
So I was pretty blessed to have that opportunity to play behind him and then take over the reins.
What was it like going from your freshman to your sophomore season when the ball was going to be in your hand and coach was like, "Yo, you're going to be my coach on the floor"?
That was a little tough for me. Taking over from somebody of Eddie's stature and then to try to not try to fill those shoes, but just try to play confidently like he did. It was a little difficult as a freshman because as a sophomore, because when I came out of high school, I was a scorer. I wasn't really a point guard. I could say I was a combo guard, but I like to score, and I had Leo Rautins, Tony Bruin, and Erich Santifer. Those were the scorers, and so I had to take a back seat, and I had to distribute the ball more so than putting the ball in the basket, and that was a bit of a transition for me. Didn't like it a whole lot, but if I wanted to stay on the court, I had to do what Coach Boeheim said.
I tell kids all the time, sometimes your role in high school is going to be different in college.
Exactly.
And if you make it to the next level and be a professional, your role may be different. You may average 30 in college and come into pros and be a defensive guy.
Yeah.
Be a role player.
Well, when I came out of high school, and once I got to Syracuse, I was the distributor. For 2 years, and then when Pearl came in, obviously I wasn't going to play the point no more. There was no way I'm going to stay the point, so I had to move into that 2 position was a great thing. But coming out of high school, I was a scorer, but I could pass the ball, and it was a little bit of a transition my sophomore year, but it was something that I embraced.
Do you think it made you a better player, a more well-rounded player?
I think so, because it gave me more of an understanding of time and score, who to give it to, who not to give it to, especially in tough moments. Because in high school, it was like I'm not giving the ball to anybody. It's I got this,
Right.
But when you get on that collegiate stage, it's a different animal. You got. I'm playing for a legendary coach who knows 100 times more than I did, and you got to do what you need to do and listen and follow the rules, run the plays, do all these things. If you want to be the leader on the floor as a point guard, there's certain things you got to know how to do. And I learned that.
How did Syracuse change once Dwayne Pearl Washington stepped on campus?
Because it was Syracuse and Pearl. And everything else was secondary. When Pearl came, and it's funny when my junior year we were playing at Madison Square Garden. I think we were playing. I forget who we were playing, but his brothers and all his boys were behind the bench, and they were just being outrageous. You're going to get your spot taken, Waldren. You're this, you're that, you're this, and and some of the guys on the team was like, Gene, you hear him? I was like, this is normal.
Right, right. Being from Queensbridge, you heard enough, right?
Yeah. I said, this is normal. I said, it wasn't no big deal. But once he got on campus, man, we were pretty close, playing in the backcourt with Pearl was an experience that I've never had before, playing with any other guard. This cat was unbelievable. He was literally unbelievable. The things he was able to do with a basketball was just, you just was memorized seeing him, and we used to go at it at practice. He helped me get better because I used to have to guard him in practice. I used to foul the hell out of him.
Rest in peace to New York City.
He used to be like, Gene, why are you doing that? I said, just keep playing, man.
Sure. Definitely. Want to say rest in peace to him.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I tell you, man, me and him, and after we both finished playing it, we became even closer, In the days, I'd say maybe a month before he passed, he was up in Syracuse and we were together, It was, it hit me so hard, man. It hit, I remember doing interviews on TV up here and I couldn't hold myself together, but that's how real it was. That's how real him and I were, We used to have, let me tell you something, we used to have some fun in college, me and him. Unbelievable. Talk about a jokester. This guy was always cracking jokes and always pulling pranks on people. Always pulling pranks. But, rest in peace, Pearl Boy. We miss you for sure.
Definitely. He'll always be missed, always be remembered. Got a short story to tell you. When I had Kenny Hutchinson on, he talked about the game where Pearl pulled up to King Towers in a motorcycle and gave him the business. he was like, the story was true. He said we went at it, but Pearl had definitely got me towards the end, and he always respected Pearl. So that was a legendary game because he was a little bit older than Pearl, and Pearl was able to do his thing out there, uptown, pulling up in a motorcycle with a girl on the back. That's just so legendary right there.
And I tell you what, though, those are some of the places where I really made my name. King Towers, the Polo Grounds. I played in so many of those when I was playing with the Gauchos, because not many kids played uptown that was from Queens.
That's right.
And so I was playing with the Gauchos, and that's where I'm pretty much made my name. People was like, "Who's this skinny left-hand kid?" And it was funny. I used to get on that train, have to go uptown. I was scared as hell, but I couldn't show it on my face.
Hey, people don't understand. The Bronx was the Apocalypse Now Bronx, right? It was like all burnt down buildings. It was crazy. It was not a nice place to go visit coming from another borough.
Yeah, I used to go up there, jump on that train, the 4 or the 3, the 4 to get on the train. I'd be sitting there. I had my bag. I was scared as hell, but I was like, I'll never forget playing the King Towers. We playing the game, and the dude running on the court, the cop chasing, run through the court. I'm like, oh Lord, oh my God, unbelievable. But those were the days, though.
That's right.
Those were the days.
That's what made a lot of us tough and gritty, and a lot of college coaches wanted the New York City guards and ball players at their universities.
And it's funny because when Coach when I was being recruited, and I decided I was going to go to Syracuse, Coach Boeheim came to the projects. He came to my parents' apartment. And it's so funny. I got to tell the story. It's so funny. A lot of people didn't know that he was coming, and they didn't know who he was, So he come to the projects, and after he left, a couple of the ruffies, they're like, "Yo, you talking to the detectives?" I was like, "Yo, man, that's Coach Boeheim. What are you talking about?"
They want to know if you was the ops or not, right?
Yeah, there's like, yo, I mean, they was like, couple of, they came, some of the whatever, they come around and say, "Yo, you talking to detectives?" I was like, "Yo, that's Coach Boeheim, man." They say, "Oh, okay, Gene, we just check you." I was like, "Come on, man." But what's funny though, he didn't miss a beat, man. Walked in the project like he knew what he was doing, and obviously he did, because I went to Syracuse in the end. But that was a crazy story, man. I tell that story quite a bit. The people thought he was a detective, and I was snitching. I'm like, come on, man.
Well, he looked like he was the lead detective anyway. So right. How was Jim Boeheim, and how was y'all relationship?
Our relationship was initially it was kind of rocky because I was from New York City. Think I was a know-it-all. And he used to always tell me, if you want to be successful, you have to do the right thing. I didn't want to, I didn't understand all that stuff. I used to call my mom sometime and say, "Mom, you got to tell him to stop yelling at me." Yo, for real. She said, "Mom," yeah, that's so crazy, right? My mom, she said, "Well, then you have to listen." I said, "But just tell him to stop yelling." And not for nothing though, it was all in good, he just wanted the best out of all his players. He was really tough to play for, and it was funny, after it was all said and done, after all my career and all that, we really had the opportunity to sit down. He was like, "I just wanted the best for you." He said, "You was a good player, but she said, sometimes you just wouldn't listen." We to this day, him and I got a phenomenal relationship. Really good. Because there was times that I was struggling and he was right there for me. There was times where he helped me when I couldn't help myself. And I don't know if a lot of players could say that about their college coach. Coach Boeheim is true to his word and true to who he is.
Wow. It says Rock
Alan
Lloyd,
Griffin,
Alan
that's
Griffin
my man.
said the same thing about. Yeah, I had Alan Griffin on the show as well.
Yeah, I saw him yesterday when Syracuse knocked off Miami.
Yeah. I'm looking to get Red Autry up here. You know, I have to wait till the season over. Hopefully, he come on the show and we can talk about his great basketball career and now being the head coach of Syracuse.
Well, when I played over in England, when he finished college, he almost came and played with me overseas.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many years did you play overseas?
Oh, man. I was overseas 12 years.
Wow.
12 years. But most of my career was in England. I mean, I played as a guest player in France, Scotland, Belgium, Ireland, you know, as guest player, but most of my career was in England, a place called Leicester. Leicester, England, yeah.
What is a guest player?
Well, sometimes you can a team could add a player, add an American to the team. And so and you can go, sometimes people say, well, I know of such and such. And you go as a guest player for like a week or two. They pay you a nice sum of money, you know. So I did that, but mostly I stayed in England.
Got you. I want to go back to Syracuse for a bit. What was the feeling like playing in the Carrier Dome? And is it like what we're seeing on television?
Well, back in the 80s, it was, in the first couple of years, it was just insane. Because, again, you're talking about the Big East, the rivals, the Syracuse Georgetown, Syracuse St. John's, those type of things. The atmosphere was phenomenal. It's not like how it is today, which it's now today. You could go to a college basketball game and half of the people are on their phones. You know, they're not watching the game. Well, back then, the crowds were phenomenal. The atmosphere was phenomenal. And back then, people were kind of a little afraid to come into the Carrier Dome because the student section used to be behind the bench. So, and they used to be insane. But the atmosphere was it was a tough place for any opposing team to come to play because we used to get 27,000 people. Sometimes we used to get 30,000. And you got to remember, no social media, so everybody was concentrating on what was going on the court.
Locked in,
yep.
Wow. That's amazing right there. Let's talk about that MVP performance against Iona, right? Listen, you scored 40 points. You only missed 4 shots that game. When did you know you were hot?
Well, I knew I was going to be hot before the game because the day before, Pat Kennedy, who initially was the assistant with Jim Valvano at Iona, and they were trying to get me to go to Iona. And Pat Kennedy one time took me out to dinner when I was in high school, took me out to dinner, tried to get me to sign a letter of intent. He said, yeah, have a couple of these cocktails, you know? And so I went home and, you know, obviously, I had to tell my mom, and my mom wasn't too happy. And then he wound up, taking over the job at Iona. And the day before, he had put in the newspaper, don't worry about Waldren, just worry about Pearl and Addison.
Ooh.
So he had already, I was fueled up anyway. So when he said that, and then it was Steve Burke was playing at the time. And I played against Steve in uptown in the 145 tournament when I was like 15, and I dunked on him, and I was only 15. Yeah, he tried to. Yeah.
So not only you dunked on Steve Burke,
then I gave 40? Him 40.
Oh,
yeah.
my.
He talks about that. He talks about that.
He's coming on the show soon, so we definitely got to talk about that.
Yeah, he talks about that. Then when we got into the game, I just, it was just one of those things. I was just, that's my sister there.
Yeah, she said family was there for that.
Yeah, she was my sister was, she was there. And you could hear, when it was quiet, you could hear my sister screaming, Gene Waldron MVP,
Oh, go ahead, sis. All right.
Yeah, they were all up there, but everything just was, I just couldn't miss, it was just, and Pearl was just giving me the ball in the right spots. He would just feed me the ball. And it was funny after the game, Coach Boeheim took me out with about 3 minutes and something to go.
Right.
And you could see there's a picture of me walking off the court. He's not even looking at me.
Wow.
He's still looking on the court. He's like, all right, you did your time. And then after the game, we went to the locker room. I had no idea. Pearl was like, you got 40? I was like, yeah, man. You passed me the ball finally. Yeah, man. That was a game that was something.
Wow.
That was, and there was no 3-pointers then.
Just imagine.
No
Just
3-pointers.
imagine. You know, we playing college basketball. You look to have those moments, right? Those shining moments, those moments where, you know, you look back on your career and you say it was all worth it. You know, I came into college as a scorer, had to change my game up a little bit, but I get this time to really shine and show people what I can do. Did that help you and prepare you to go into your pro career overseas?
I think it did somewhat, you know, to be honest with you, and this is real talk. If I'd have had my head screwed on right when I came out of Syracuse, I could have been a pro. There's no question in my mind I could have been a pro if I had my head screwed on right, you know. And then that's one of the things that over the years I struggled with a little bit, because I didn't have my head screwed on right, you know. There were incidents and things that shouldn't have went on that did go on in my life that I had to deal with through my life. And then going overseas. When I went overseas with an attitude. I was angry, you know, and I had nobody to blame but myself. But I had a good career over there. You know, it was fun. I had a really good career, but that wasn't a place that I should have been. You know, I shouldn't have been playing in England. And there's a lot of people that would probably say to you, there's no way he should have been playing in England. You know, so, but again, you know, you live and you learn, you know, so I can't turn that clock back, but I learned from that. I learned from it.
Yeah, hopefully a young player will look at this interview and see this and learn a lesson from it, right? Because
and you know what, for me, there was a lot of lessons to learn, you know, and when you have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, nah, I can't blame them. I can't blame that. I got to look at myself. You know, and as an athlete with an ego and I'm this and that, one of the hardest things is to look in that mirror and say, come on, man, you can't blame nobody for some of your shortcomings. You just can't do that. You know, and it was a road for me, man. Trust me when I tell you, it was a road, you know, but I got through it, you know, and I got a really good life now. I got a lovely wife. I got grown kids, but boy, it was a learning process. You know, when I tell you it was, man, when I tell you I learned the lesson, trust me when I tell you, I learned the lesson. But, you know, I ain't ashamed to talk. I ain't ashamed to say it.
Definitely. J.E. said definitely had the skills and still a great career. New York City finest ballers, for sure. This is why he on the show tonight. We give him his flowers. Let him know we appreciate him. For sure. Now, look, when you graduated, you left as the number 2 guard or player in assists at Syracuse all time. Yeah.
Well, you got to remember, I had three good scorers: Leo, Tony, and Erich Santifer. I mean, it was easy to get them guys the basketball, and it was kind of easy to get all those assists, because I had to make sure they got the ball. But I did get some time where I was able to shoot. I mean, my career I shot like 47%, which is not bad.
And you had 950 points.
Yeah, and you know what? You know what's really funny?
In 3 years, really.
If I'd have known that, I would try to get that 1,000. Nobody ever told me.
We don't check until it's over.
Exactly. Exactly. Don't check until it's over.
Man,
That is for sure.
man. You came back to your alma mater to become a color analyst on the radio. How was
Right.
that experience for you?
You know what? That was really good because I'm a talker. You know, I understand the game a little bit, but then at the end of the day, being a color analyst, all you're giving is your opinion.
Right.
You know, that's basically what it is. And it was, you know, when I got back, you know, when, you know, sat down with Coach Boeheim, he says, you know, I think this would be a great opportunity for you. You know, grab it with two hands. You know, and I did that for about 3 years. It was a great time for me to learn a little bit more about the game, the players, you know, how they prepare, their emotions. It was a great experience. I mean, it really was a great experience. I mean, especially when you got it right when you were talking.
Right.
You know, there was times, you know, you didn't always get it right. And it was nice, you know, to be able to travel with the team, go down to New York City, do those games at the Garden. It was a great experience, and I had a really good time. It was a really great experience for me to learn some things.
What are you up to nowadays?
Well,
You know,
now
like I told you,
once I finished with that, I
Yeah.
got into personal training because
Got you.
then, you know, then it was my opportunity after, you know, doing what was right to give back. You know, so now what I do is I just do personal training. I train kids ages 8 to college, you know, one-on-one. It's just me and the kid. And I've been doing that for since 2013 now. Just
Wow.
personal training, one-on-one.
And they learning from one of the best, Gene
I
Waldron.
just give to them what was given to me, you know.
And that's a lot. You know, you've been around for a long time, and you've seen a lot, so you got a lot of knowledge to give.
And it's rewarding, you know, especially when you give them that knowledge and then you go watch them and you see what they put in, they're actually doing it on the basketball court with their team, you know. So it's kind of a little bit of reward for me to see that these kids are not only putting in the work, but doing it on the basketball court, what they've learned.
For sure. Like I was gonna say before, I seen that piece that you guys did on YouTube. I've gotten yourself, I've gotten Dwayne Johnson, and there's a few more guys that was on that documentary that I need to get on the show. So I would like you to assist me in doing that. And then
You got to get Tony Red. You got to get Tony Bruin on there.
Yeah, listen.
And he was one of the main reasons why I went to Syracuse, because of him, because he was from Ravenswood. And you know, so, and we kind of like paved the way for a lot of the guys to go to Syracuse, you know. And I tell those guys, I was like, listen, you went to Syracuse because I paved the way for you. Me, Tony Red, Eddie Morse, we paved the way for you. Don't ever
There you
forget
go.
that.
For sure. Definitely. So, but make sure you got through that lifeline now for me.
Oh, no
All right?
doubt. Yeah, there's
All right,
no
I
question
appreciate
about
you.
that. I
All
keep
right.
in touch with those guys.
So my last question, I think you already answered it, but I'll answer it again anyway. If you could change one thing about your basketball journey, what would it be and why?
I think the one thing that I probably would have changed is the crowd that I hung out with. You know, I think I was a follower and I wasn't a leader. You know, and I led on the basketball court, but when that game was over, I was a follower. And if there was anything I could have changed, it would have had to been that, you know, because while I was following, those people we really wasn't on the same team, you know. And the one thing that I always go back to, and it's funny because my Vern Fleming used to always tell me, he's like, Gene, why are you around those people? You know, he used to always tell me that. He's like, why are you around them? And look what happened to him. and I wound up going overseas, and then had some struggles here and there. But I think that's probably one of the biggest things I would have done is change the crowd that I was around. It's not to say that they were bad people, but that wasn't the crowd that I should have been around with the goals that I had. But I can't complain right now, though. I got a really good life. I got a lovely wife. Life is, I really can't complain about my life right now. But that's what happens when you turn it around.
That's right. And can I ask you a question? Did your wife help you set up for tonight?
Yes, she did. Because I'm not a tech.
Salute to all the wives. Let me tell you something. Salute to your wife, and salute to all the wives who have helped all the New York City greats and legends come on this show. The wives have been in the background making sure it happens. So salute to all the wives.
Yeah, let me say something. My wife is phenomenal. I mean, there's no me without her, man. She's just the greatest. I'm true when I say I'm blessed in every sense of the word. There's no question in my mind. And anybody who knows me, who knows my wife, they will tell you that. They're like, he lucky.
That's awesome. That's awesome, brother. Well, listen, we're about to get into our top 5. Time to get you in some trouble, brother.
Okay, let's do it.
All right.
Top 5. Top 5.
All right. Who are your top 5 players from Queensbridge?
Vern would be number 1. Ray Martin. Ray Martin's up there. Ronnie Williams, rest in peace. Wow, you are going to get me in trouble.
That's right.
I would say Dwayne Johnson. I'm not even going to include myself because I was there, but I'm not going to include myself. And I'm going to say Roy Beekman.
Got you. That's solid. Roy
but
Beekman.
You know what? There was so many of us. I mean,
just passed recently, right? Roy Beekman.
There was so many that didn't even go to college that were better than some of the people that I named, including myself. I mean, that's how serious it was. But I would put that 5 together against anybody. I come off the bench.
Can't have nobody coming off the bench. Just 5.
Just 5.
That's it.
All right, you got my 5.
All right. Derek Hawkins said, I still have footprints on my chest from Tony Red Bruin and Elm Court game in Queensbridge. Gene might have been on that team.
Oh, yeah. I tell you what, Tony Red was high. Tony Red to jump out the gym.
For sure. Top 5 guys you played with.
Played with Billy Goodwin. I mean, I even played with some of the when the Globetrotters were traveling, I played with some of the great NBA players, Kareem, JoJo White, Nate Archibald. But all right, I'll just give you that. I just had to throw that in there.
That was 4. That's 4 already. You give me one more, you good.
That 5th one, Pearl Washington.
There you go. That's an awesome 5 right there.
Yeah.
Top 5 guys you played against.
Vern Fleming, Freddie Brown, Cosell, Nigel Wallace, Richie Gordon.
Now it's time for the grand finale. Top 5 players in New York City history from your perspective.
Oh, wow. Top 5. Wow. Sam Worthing.
It's my guy. Just on the phone with him the other day.
Joe Hammett. I gotta throw Pearl in there. I just have to.
That's right. That's 3. You ain't going wrong right now. And listen, nobody's named the same 5 ever, so you right on track.
I gotta throw Nate Archibald in there. I gotta throw Nate in there.
Nate the Skate. Yep.
And my 5th one, I'm gonna go with Vern Fleming on that because of what he's achieved.
Man, you named all gods, man. I'm a god, man. That's real, man. Well, listen, I'm so glad we was able to have this conversation.
Me too.
And that's what I call these. These are great conversations. And you share some amazing stories. I know it's been a while, but we finally got you, man. And I want to give you your flowers to let you know, brother, we appreciate you. Thank you for all you did for our city and our state as a whole. And we want to let you know that you're definitely one of the greatest players in New York City history.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
No doubt. Salute to everybody out there. Salute to your wife and your family, your sister that came on, and everybody that, show love. Remember, share this live. Share this. All right? Family, friends. Let everybody know, man. Gene Waldron, one of New York City's greats.
Thank you very much, bro.
Walkers, we definitely going to get you up here, man. Definitely soon. We're going to make sure we make it happen. I got you. Trust me.
Yeah, memory lane, boy. Me and Derek, boy, we used to go. I tell you what, he wasn't no joke. He was tough. He was real.
Listen, when I put up the post on Instagram, the music that I had playing behind it was Memory Lane from Nas. Coming out of Queensbridge.
Yeah, coming out of Queensbridge.
Yeah, so, had to show some love, man. And I'm going to forward this to Nas and all the people. My guy Capone. I had Capone for Capone and Noriega up here as well. He played ball. I didn't really know he was a ball player like that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I'm going to forward this to Meta World Peace, Ron Artest.
Yeah, him and my son are pretty good friends, man.
Listen, tell your son I've been trying to get Meta on the show for a long time, man. So we want to make sure we make that happen. I need you to make that connection for me, Gene.
You got it, bud.
All right, man. I appreciate you.
Take care.
All right. Wow, man. You love it when you tap into one of the greats and they tell you their real story, right? And it's not all about the glam and the glitz and the spotlight. You may come from that, but sometimes you got to take a back seat and still do what you got to do to make sure that your career turns out to be what it's going to be. And he's a winner in all phases of the game. He has won. He has done some amazing things in his life. Got to build the foundation at Syracuse University. Be one of the first guys to come out of Queens and lay the foundation for all the ball players that came out on that side. So we want to say salute to my guy, Gene Waldron. We appreciate you. But now, what I want to do, oh, man, hold on. Tell me to get back online real quick. If you got to tap me. Hold on. We're not finished yet. We ain't finished yet. Yo, get back on. I got something I want to show you.
Okay.
All right. Yo, Mel. Come back here real quick. That. Look what my guy made.
I gotta be on the camera.
Just so I can give you the jacket. That's it. For 2 seconds. Look at this. See this piece? Did he wear glasses? I don't know if he wore glasses. Yeah? Oh, that's right. He did. He have on. Come back on, Gene. Show you your piece real quick. Look at that. Wow. And before he come on, we want to do this real quick. I want to present my guy real quick. The Basketball Heads official Bubble Goose. So we appreciate you, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you. You know, you got to show love to our own, man. For sure. Look at that. Y'all want one, holler at me. We can make it happen. Still wintertime. See if Gene can get on here real quick before you can see his piece so we can get out of here. All right? Well, y'all know what it is. Thank you for supporting. Remember, share this live. Hold on, because he just hit me up. Hold on. About to get out of here.
Hello?
Yeah, I was going to say, come back on live real quick. I want to show you something.
Yeah. Come on my phone because I shut my computer down already.
All right, bet. So what I'm going to do, look, you got an iPhone?
Yes.
All right, cool.
All right.
Can you see it? Open up your
All right. Now, how did I?
All right, y'all. We about to get out of here. I'm your host, Glenn Pooh Harding, and you've been watching Basketball Heads Live, the podcast on NYC Basketball Network, and we are the official home for New York City basketball. Peace.